Hi guys, welcome back to Unplug. I hope you had a splendid holiday because it was all fun over here. I hope you're having a great day. As usual, we are bringing you the updates on everything entertainment. I'm talking global news as well, national news, sports, just everything you need to know about what's happening around you. We have all those updates for you on this show, so you should definitely be watching us every single day. This is brought to you by every NG, and my name is Judith. Now let's dive right into the headlines. And Unplug. First up, we have BB Niger star girl Erica in the news. Now, this story is a bit complicated because it's between Erica and one of her die-hard fans, and I'll say that in quotes. Now, over the holidays, this young man has been, tagging Erica. Not even over the holidays, but it became more incessant just in the past 2 days. So he had been tagging Erica, wanting to get her attention, wanting to have her on his Instagram. You know how this thing goes now. When people have a crush and you want your crush to notice you, by all means. That was the case of Erica and Laolu. Now, if you're wondering who Laolu is, there's this young man who posted his father's picture, and people went off on Twitter and Instagram saying, ask your dad if you're really his son because of the difference in complexion. Now, if you remember very well, after that situation happened, Erica jumps to his defense and said, look, you cannot just come up on the internet and say such horrible things about people. Well, it looks like Laolu took that defense a little bit too far, because since then he has been on Erica's case, tagging her on Instagram, on Twitter, wanting to be her friend, wanting to go out on a friendly date with her. Now, initially, Erica was like, okay, look, you would meet me when I have my meet and greet or when I'm meeting with my fans, but personally, no way. But this young man kept on insisting and, just pushed Erica to, do something a little bit more drastic. Now, she quoted, she took a screenshot of his comment on her picture since 2013. Yes, he went all the way to a 2013 picture and dropped a comment, and she took a screenshot of that comment and said, look, young man, now you've been hounding me all over the internet. What do you have to say? I'm sure you can say it publicly. Now, this call out, got mixed reactions, because people are like, so you want her to now say, okay, DM me, so that it will be a case of he said, she said, and next thing you're dragging Erica for leading people on, while other people are like, Erica, you should have, handled this a little bit differently, maybe privately, instead of dragging the young man outside, and he even has a girlfriend. This is so embarrassing. Well, let me know what you think on that. How do you think Erica handled it? Were you in support of how she handled the situation, or do you think she could have maybe messaged him privately and said, look, young man, I'm not really interested in being friends with you. I think you should quit tagging me on social media. Let me know what you think of that situation in the comments. Now let's move on from Erica to Nengi. And if you've been on the internet these few days, you know that there's something trending, this challenge at 23. Now, so many people have taken the challenge up, sharing their achievements at the age of 23, things that they've achieved. Some people are like, well, at the age of 23, I'm waking up, I'm alive, I'm breathing, that is enough. And it is really enough for some people. Now, Nengi, took up this challenge, and she made a list of all her bragging rights. She's like a CEO, reality TV star, brand influencer of the year, David's aunt, so many things. And people, of course, had to bring up this tired conversation of Nengi's age. You're like, you're achieving all these things at 23. That's a lie. You're really not 23. You know how this conversation has been going since she went into the BB Niger house. And then some other people are like, is it so hard for you to believe that a 23-year-old is having a go at life and just achieving all the things that she wants to achieve? And then people are like, not only 23, football age. You know how these BB Niger fans have been. So let me know what you think of that in the comment section as well. Now let's move on from the BB Niger housemates, and let's talk a little bit of entertainment, music industry entertainment, of course. And Davidos' daughter is really taking after him. I'm talking about his first daughter, Imade, because just yesterday she got herself a deal. Yes, an endorsement deal. So while people were crying over the case of Nengi achieving so much at 23, a 6-year-old has gotten herself an endorsement deal. Let that sink. So, of course, Davido announced this on his Twitter. He's like, I'm not going to hear word for Imade. She's going to be like, oh my God, Dad, see me on the billboard. Dad, see me on the billboard. But it was really lovely to see, and congratulations to Imade on her win. Now, let's talk a little bit about somebody else in the music industry that has been making waves for about a week or so. I'm talking about Chidinma Ekile. If you remember well, Chidinma made a move from secular music to gospel. She's now a full-time gospel minister. And she has decided to use her talents for God, as she announced on Instagram a few weeks ago. Now, she actually took this very literally. Now, so many people are like, let's see how this goes, because this is not the first time she's talking about leaving secular music. So let's see how this goes with Chidima. Well, she has decided to prove her naysayers wrong as she went on street evangelism, and she didn't just evangelize on the street, she actually went into the nooks and crannies, because a video showed her evangelizing to a group of men in a beer parlor. And something that really shocked a lot of people about that was that she was speaking fluent Yoruba language. She was communicating with them in the language that they understand. She prayed for them in Yoruba language, preached the gospel to them in Yoruba language, and it was just really amazing to see her do that. Take her words and make it into actions. You know what I'm trying to say? And of course, so many people congratulated her on taking that bold step. So many people, were with her on that, and it was just beautiful to see that. And let's leave Chidima's story for a bit and go into a little bit of scandal happening in the entertainment industry. I'm talking about AY and a veteran actress, Victoria Inyama. Now, this situation is a little bit dicey, and I'll tell you why. It's something that has been going on for a while. I think AY has been collecting his receipts, just keeping it in one corner to the day that she messes up, and then he'll bring it up against her. Because after another actress's second marriage, I'm talking about Etinusa Idemudia, after her second marriage crashed, Victoria Inyama made the post on Instagram saying, be careful of the words that come out of your mouth, make sure not to criticize the pain that you haven't felt, stuff like that. And a lot of people were with her like, yes, Etinusa was a bit all over the place with her words. Now, fast forward to just 2 days ago, a blogger made a post about AY alleging that he was cheating on his wife. And just under the comments, Victoria Inyama was there saying, oh, why would he go on this kind of date? Pushing the narrative. His wife came under her comment and said, why would you do this? For the level of exposure you have, this is really disappointing. I think you should focus all your time on being busy and productive. But it did not end there. After Mabel made her comment, AY actually dedicated an entire Instagram post calling Victoria out. And like I said, he had been keeping his receipts, because he brought her post from days ago where she said people should watch what they say and be careful of how they speak about people. And he posted her picture, posted that initial post that she made, and then took screenshots of her comments under blogs where she was kind of pushing the wrong narratives about people, pushing allegations that she wasn't sure of. And they went back and forth, and then Victoria was like, okay, fine, you're saying that this blogger is not very credible, but let's ignore the messenger and focus on the message. And people are like, how are you going to ignore the messenger? If it's that way, then every story that comes out about everybody we should believe as well. But AY really did his due diligence with keeping receipts and calling her out. And of course, we were going back and forth on Instagram, and people were just like, oh my goodness, can we just move on from the both of you already? Now to some national news, we have something that is really disturbing to hear, as the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has put out a wanted notice for the son-in-law to the Nigerian president. His name is Gimba Yakumo, and he's married to one of the president's daughter, Fatima. Now, the ICPC put out this wanted report saying that he was wanted for the misappropriation of the National Housing Fund, and alongside 2 other people, and the amount is crazy. We're talking $65 million, and people are like, hold on a minute, wait, what? How is one person or 3 people, how are 3 people able to move this kind of money around? And if you recall, in April, the AFCC also put him in front of a panel to account for 3 billion naira that was misappropriated during his tenure as the MD of the Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Now, this is something that a lot of people are giving their hot takes on. They're like, okay, so is the president really going to fight this head on the way other cases have been, or are we going to be relaxed about it? Who knows? And people are really, really waiting to see the step that the president will take on this situation. Man hasn't been arrested yet. He hasn't been found. He's still wanted, according to the ICPC, and would give you updates as the story unfolds. Now, still talking about the federal government, can we talk about the fact that the federal government has expressed deep concerns over the Israel and Palestine conflict? Now, this is not a problem in itself, but people are saying, considering what is happening in your country, under your own nose, people are being kidnapped, people are being killed, students are being kidnapped. I mean, we're talking about Greenfield students who have not returned home to their parents. We are still talking about the Afaka students who fortunately were returned. Most of them were returned. We still have 2 students unaccounted for. Chibok girls, about 100 of them, are still not back home with their loved ones, and you are expressing deep concern over other people's issues. Yes, express deep concerns, but people are saying, what are you doing about what is happening in your home? That is a question that is left for the president to answer. Now, let's talk about global stories. And of course, the Israeli and Palestinian conflict is something that has been talked about over the week because people are really concerned. So many people are dying. The death toll is rising, so many casualties. And a lot of people don't even understand because it has been made to as a religious conflict, but a lot of people do not understand, where this is originated from. And according to reports, this conflict has been going on for over a century, and it is even over a piece of land around the River Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea. Now, last week alone, the Gaza people, that's in the Palestine, recorded at least 83 deaths and 480 injured people, including 17 women and children. And on the Israel part, they have seven people dead and about 200 people injured, just in the period of 1 week. And airstrikes are being fired, missiles are being fired, and according to the Israeli Prime Minister, some of the missiles that Gaza fired at Israel went back to them. They kind of misfired, and that was what caused the large death toll from Gaza's end. Now, people are asking, of course, governments of different countries, including Nigeria, are asking for these two parties to come and settle this amicably, instead of having to fire missiles and having innocent people, citizens of both sides, die for things that they are not even really involved in. Well, I'd love to know your thoughts on the Israel and Palestine conflict because it is a hot topic right now on the global scenes, and of course people have been giving their two piece about the situation. Now let's move on to some sports, and of course we always end with a little bit of sports for you. This time around, the Manchester United fans, wow, this is intense, as Liverpool they thrashed Manchester United at home during the Premier League games with a 4-2 ending to the game. And it's just really disappointing because, we're home and then Liverpool came and did pew, pew, pew in their house. So yes, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Unplug. It was so much fun giving you the updates, and until next time, this is brought to you by Every NG, and my name is Judith.